This is
I was being fair.
No, this is a huge Democratic Party problem. If you look at Democratic cities, they are terribly run. They have incredibly high taxes. It is impossible to build, so the cost of housing. Let me finish. I give you a chance. Cost of housing is crazy in places like New York and Chicago.
Bill Maher brings CNN host Fareed Zakaria onto Real Time, and the discussion quickly turns into a tough conversation. Maher pushes back on several points and argues that Democrats have made serious mistakes that are hurting the country. He keeps pressing Zakaria to respond instead of avoiding the issue. Let's take a look at this clip and see how the debate unfolds.
The former mayor of Chicago and former ambassador to Japan, Rahm Emanuel, and chief of staff, weren't you?
You don't think that's a more impressive credit than those other two? Chief of staff of the White House? I feel like that is the biggest job you can have in this country behind the president. Isn't that the gatekeeper of everything, the chief of staff?
It is the gatekeeper, but the biggest job is mayor.
Of Chicago.
Yeah. And then chief of staff is the worst job until you get through it and then you look back fondly.
Lasts long. I mean, like, it's so intense, right, that you can only do it for
18 to 19 months is the modern average.
Right.
Yeah, not that I figured that out.
But with ambassador, you get called the honorable ambassador for the.
Yeah,
so you could probably get better restaurant reservations with that.
So sensitive, don't you think? Yeah, you do. And it's Your Excellency from now on to you. I want to do Senate confirmation.
All right, this is from the people. What do you think about Trump's proposed $5 million gold card visa for wealthy foreigners? Is it smart economic move or a problematic policy? I guess I know what he's talking about. Trump wants to sell a visa. You get permanent residency. By the way, I looked this up, we are hardly the first country to do this. Doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. But, you know, I remember...
Yeah, we actually have a version of it. It's sort of called, I think it's called the EB5 or something like that. So it's fine to do it. I actually think maybe it's because I'm, very patriotic. I think 5 million, we should be charging 20 million, or, American citizenship is worth more than that.
It comes with Ukrainian minerals, though.
What I love about Trump is, he said, you got the green card, but with this, the gold card, you get extra privileges. Like what? You got to vote twice?
Well, now you're speaking Chicago language. I'm for it, but it's part of a bigger package on immigration reform. It's been 42 years.
The reason this moment stands out is because Bill Maher first points out that many other countries have already tried similar ideas. He reminds everyone that this is not a new concept. In the past, many people on CNN and other left-leaning networks strongly criticized the proposal because it came from Donald Trump. Since Trump supported it, they rejected it right away. That has been a common pattern with Fareed Zakaria during his time at CNN and with many others on the left. But on Bill Maher's show, things are different. Maher is known for calling people out if their arguments do not make sense. Because of that, some guests suddenly give much more balanced answers. It is a funny change to watch.
It's the last one. So I'm not against it, but it's part of a whole package.
I read that the current mayor of Chicago has an approval rating of 6.6%.
Round it up.
But I mean, you were just the ambassador to Japan. If that was your approval rating in Japan, they would do harakiri on the live TV.
They would do it at 27.
I mean, what's going on in Chicago?
Look, I mean, we were talking about this a little earlier. I mean, you have also the mayor of New York not doing well. Obviously, other things also here in Los Angeles not doing well, the mayor here. Look, and then you got mayors like the mayor of San Francisco and other cities that are doing well. So I would say, look, there is a general rule. I had this when I was mayor. Safe streets, strong schools, stable finances. Focus on those three things and your city's going to be fine. We've gone through 5 years where people became way too permissive of a culture. They were which is why everything's locked up at Walgreens and CVS, and that is a disaster.
Yeah.
And I'll say this about our schools. I don't want to hear another word about the locker room. I don't want to hear another word about the bathroom. You better start focusing on the classroom.
I agree. We have the worst reading scores for 8th graders
in 30 years. And nobody, not a governor, not a mayor, not a president, not a secretary of education is talking about it. We're all wrapped up. Look, in 7th grade, if I known that I could have said the word they and got in the girls' bathroom, I would have done it. Okay, this is, we literally are a superpower. We're facing off against China with 1.4 billion people, and 2/3 of our children can't read 8th grade level. So no.
I do agree that China and some other countries are moving ahead of the United States in education. That part is true. But this answer also feels like a lot of virtue signaling. People often ask why anyone is focused on bathroom policies when schools are struggling and many communities still have poor education. That can be a fair question, but simply talking about it does not solve the problem. If someone truly cares about education, they should work to improve it. On the other side, people who support bathroom restrictions say they are trying to protect children by giving them a safe place. These issues do not have to compete with each other. It should be possible to care about both. Instead of giving a direct answer to Bill Maher's simple question, the response turns into a long speech that avoids the point. That happens so often, and many people are getting tired of it.
About the lot. Wait a second, I'm on a roll for a second. No more. I don't want to hear.
I gave him the light.
I don't want to hear another word about the classroom. I don't want to hear another word about the bathroom until you tell me what you're going to do with the classroom.
Yeah.
I know.
That's what you're doing wrong. But I think.
To be fair, this is actually...
I was being fair.
No, this is a huge Democratic Party problem. If you look at Democratic cities, they are terribly run. They have incredibly high taxes. It is impossible to build, so the cost of housing... Let me finish. I give you a chance. Cost of housing is crazy in places like New York and Chicago. If you look at Democratic states, you go look at New York versus Florida, okay? Roughly the same population. The budget of New York State is twice that of Florida. What do they have? The streets paved with gold? I live in New York. I pay the highest taxes in New York. You get nothing for it. And I think that is the image people have of the Democratic Party. Lots of taxes, lots of regulation, but nothing gets done.
Hey,
and I think
I live in L.A.
Right. And I think, listen, if the Democrats have to own this and realize the answer to everything is not more taxes, more regulation. People are fed up of that and they feel that it isn't working.
The Democrats, look, as somebody who produced the best graduation growth in the country.
And he changed our high school.
You were a good man. I agree.
No, that's not the point. The point was we changed, but I'll take that. The point isn't the rules. The point is the results. And the party has gotten way too focused on what the rules are. And I do agree with you on this. We have made it impossible to function as a city or as a state, and been so, take an example of this example. Here, obviously in LA, it took a fire and a natural disaster to make you realize, you know what, that rule's not that important. In Pennsylvania, a bridge collapsed. All of a sudden we go, well, that environmental rule is just not important. We got to build a bridge. It's much more important.
This is one reason I enjoy Bill Maher's show. Guests like CNN's Fareed Zakaria and Rahm Emanuel often sound more open because Maher challenges them directly. If they avoid the question, he usually pushes back until they answer. During conversations like this, they end up admitting that Democrats have made mistakes, including focusing too much on policing speech, canceling people, or arguing over pronouns, while bigger problems still need attention. Moments like these make the discussions more interesting because guests are pushed to speak more honestly. Let me know what you think about Bill Maher's conversation with Fareed Zakaria and Rahm Emanuel in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload.